Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu Lightful Magic, dein Podcast für dein inneres Strahlen. Ich bin Xenia und ich freue mich riesig, dich heute hier zu einer ganz besonderen Folge begrüßen zu dürfen. Ich freue mich wie ein Schneekönig, eine Schneekönigin, und heute erwartet dich in Lightful Magic ein ganz besonderer Gast. Und zwar ist es der Autor eines Buches, das mich zu einer ganz besonderen Zeit begleitet hat und das mich letztes Jahr gefunden hat. Die Geschichte erzähle ich dir gleich. Zuerst zu unserem Gast heute in Lightful Magic. Es ist der Autor Sergio Bambarén. Und Sergio hat ganz viele Bücher geschrieben und die wurden in so vielen Sprachen übersetzt, weltweit. Und wir sprechen vor allen Dingen über ein Buch, sein allererstes Buch. Das ist das Buch Der träumende Delfin oder auch in anderen Sprachen Der Delfin, El Delfino. Und dieses Buch, was ihn dazu inspiriert hat und wie es dazu kam, dass er dieses erste Buch dann ja, geschrieben hat und dass es veröffentlicht wurde, diese Geschichte erfahren wir im Podcast. Wir sprechen im Interview auch darüber, welche Träume Sergio heute hat, was er dazu rät, um ja mehr die Stimme des eigenen Herzens zu hören, die eigenen Träume zu leben. Und ich bin sicher, dass dieses Gespräch dich inspirieren wird auf vielerlei Art und Weise. Für mich war es ein ja ganz inspirierendes, spannendes Gespräch und ja, fühle mich ganz verbunden, jetzt einen neuen Freund gefunden zu haben, Sergio, ja, mit dem ich viele meiner Träume auch verbinde. Und ich erzähle dir jetzt, wie ich dazu gekommen bin, sein erstes Buch zu lesen. Und das ist tatsächlich eine ganz besondere Geschichte für mich, denn das erste Buch, was ich gelesen habe von ihm, das war Der Traum des Leuchtturmwärters. Und vielleicht, wenn du mich schon ein bisschen länger kennst, dann kennst du Teile von dieser Geschichte. Vielleicht weißt du, dass ich Leuchttürme so sehr liebe. Leuchttürme liebe aufgrund der Symbolik, wofür sie stehen, dass sie ja, anderen ein Licht leuchten, dass sie anderen den Weg weisen und ja, einfach Licht in der Welt verbreiten. Und letztes Jahr war es so, dass mich eine Postkarte erreicht hat von einer Freundin von einem Leuchtturm. Und ich habe mich so sehr über die Postkarte gefreut, habe mich bedankt. Und daraufhin hat die Freundin mir erzählt, danke, liebe Verena, hat mir erzählt, dass man in dem Leuchtturm auch heiraten kann. Und daraufhin haben mein Mann und ich beschlossen, dass wir dort standesamtlich heiraten werden, in diesem Leuchtturm. Und für mich war es tatsächlich immer der Traum, am Meer zu heiraten. Für mich hat das Meer so eine ganz besondere Bedeutung und Wirkung. Und da dann noch dazu die Möglichkeit zu haben, in dem Leuchtturm zu heiraten, das war ja für mich unglaublich, dass es die gibt, weil ich hatte die bisher nicht auf dem Schirm, diese Möglichkeit. Und wir haben das umgesetzt und haben letztes Jahr zur Wintersonnenwende im Leuchtturm geheiratet, also dem kürzesten Tag des Jahres, an dem dann das Licht wieder mehr wird. Und mit all diesen Zeichen haben wir eine wundervolle Zeit erlebt und als Geschenk hatten wir im Gepäck dabei, ohne dass wir es wussten, genau dieses Buch, Der Traum des Leuchtturmwärters. Und ja, dieses Buch haben wir dann angefangen, auch während der Reise. Wir waren mehrere Tage dann an der Ostsee und ja, haben die Tage dort verbracht, vor und nach der Hochzeit. Und dann haben wir angefangen, dieses Buch zu lesen, haben uns gegenseitig vorgelesen. Und mir hat es so gut gefallen, mich hat es so berührt in meinem Herzen, dieses Buch. Und es geht auch darum, ja, um Lebensweisheiten, darum auch, wie wir ja eben unsere Träume erfüllen. Und es hat so gut gepasst und daraufhin habe ich mir dann noch mehr Bücher von Sergio Bambarén gekauft und eins davon ist Der träumende Delfin, über den wir auch im Podcast sprechen. Und ich kann dir versprechen, es ist auch eine ganz besondere Geschichte, eine ganz magische Geschichte. Und für mich war es wie so ein Wunder, was passiert, wenn wir einfach unserem Herzen folgen, wenn wir unseren Träumen folgen. Und ich habe vor über einem Jahr angefangen, den Podcast zu starten. Ich hatte das so oft immer wieder in meinem Feld. Meine Herzensstimme hat es mir immer wieder gesagt, hey, mach einen Podcast. Und ich wurde dann darauf angesprochen, wie toll das ist, dass ich meinen eigenen Podcast habe. Und da hatte ich meinen Podcast noch gar nicht. Und dann habe ich kurz danach geträumt, wie ich meine erste Folge veröffentlicht habe und die Intro-Folge. Und das war für mich dann, okay, jetzt ist es dran und jetzt folge ich diesem Weg und jetzt folge ich meinem Herzen und meinem Traum und bringe diesen Podcast zum Leben, erwecke diesen Podcast zum Leben. Und wenn wir einfach unseren Träumen folgen, genauso auch mit der Hochzeit im Leuchtturm, dann passiert danach Magie. Und für mich war es Magie, dass Sergio sich auch bei mir gemeldet hat und ähm, ja, wir nun dieses Podcast-Interview führen konnten. So, du merkst, ich bin Feuer und Flamme. Ich freue mich, das Interview jetzt mit dir zu teilen. Und das Ganze ist auf Englisch. Ich habe die Untertitel in Deutsch in YouTube ergänzt. Das heißt, wenn es dir leichter fällt, mit den deutschen Untertiteln dem Podcast zu folgen, den Podcast anzuschauen, du siehst uns beide dann auch, dann nutzt gerne den Lightful Magic, den Podcast auf YouTube. Und ansonsten freue ich mich jetzt einfach, wenn du hier dran bleibst und dir dieses Interview ja, genießt. Viel Freude dabei. So, hello again, Sergio, and happy and warm welcome to the podcast Lightful Magic.
Xenia, it's an honor to be here. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm here to for any question that you might have, or to make a have a wonderful time in this short time.
I'm so excited that you're here, and I am very happy to ask you some questions and to get to know more about your way, your dreams, your life. And I have two of your books here. It's The Dolphin, and the other one is the Guardian of the Light. And I do have a very special story to one of your books, the Guardian of the Light, because it was with me and my husband during our marriage within a lighthouse. And it was so special that, yeah, we got your book and we loved it both very much. So thank you for your messages in your books and that you are writing all these books and give it to the world.
I'm very honored with your words, Xenia, but I'm so happy that you had this wonderful time in that lighthouse with your husband, and your dream come true.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Exactly, and that's what life is about, to be happy.
Hmm. Sergio, do you want to tell us a little more about your life and how it came that you decided to follow your dreams and to write the first book, The Dolphin, and all the others that were following?
Of course, Xenia. Uh, I always say, life works in strange but wonderful ways. And since I was a kid, I was born in the city of Lima in Peru. And
Mhm.
Lima is a city that looks the ocean.
Mhm.
So the first memories I have of when I was a really when I was a child is I had this magnet with the ocean. Um, the first time I went into the ocean probably was when I was 2 years old, and then after some time I discovered surfing because there's a lot of good surfing in Lima, and I will never forget that sensation of the first wave I caught, gliding in a moving wall of water. And I felt that it was something I would be hooked for the rest of my life. more than 60 years afterwards, I'm still surfing. Uh, every time I have a problem or I need to clean my mind, I always go to the ocean. And in some way, the ocean uh, is and has always been my best friend. But going back to your question, uh, I was born in a wonderful family that gave me lots of love, um, and I had a wonderful childhood with so many good friends that also loved to surf. And so we finished high school, and I had the opportunity to go to the United States, and I wanted to study chemical engineering.
Mhm.
So I went, but every time I would travel, I would always, no matter what, for studies, for holidays or whatever, I would always take with me my surfboard because that was my passion in life. Uh, since I was a kid, I would collect all these photographs of different places around the world where you could surf, and I said one day I will be in all those places because that's that's a story of a soul surfer. A soul surfer is not a someone who loves the ocean and the waves. It's a lifestyle. We're a little like nomads,
Mhm.
and we're always following in search of the perfect wave. So I went to the States. I graduated as a chemical engineer, but every time I had an opportunity of holidays or vacations, I would go to places like Hawaii, to California. I studied in Texas, and also to Mexico, to Guatemala, Costa Rica, El Salvador. And the same thing when I was, living and working in Lima. I went all the way to southern Chile, Ecuador. Every place that I could find a spot to surf, I would be there with my friends.
Mhm.
So basically, what happened? I graduated as a chemical engineer with an MBA, a master, and then because of the spirit I am, I decided to migrate to Australia. Uh, Again, the lucky country. I love nature. Nature is my other passion, the defense of nature. And
Yes.
I found myself in a country that really was amazing to live in and gave me the serendipity
Mhm.
start to put in place what I wanted to do with my life. Don't ask me why, and now I see it as a challenge. It was something I had to do. I used to work for a multinational company in Australia, and I was in charge of all Asia and Australia and New Zealand. And in a few years, I don't know why it was, I became the CEO of that company. And of course, everyone around me said that I was so successful, um, because being a CEO of a big transnational company comes with all the material toys, as I call it. The beautiful car, the beautiful
Mhm.
house, traveling in first class or private jet of the company. And
Mhm.
at the beginning, I cannot say that I didn't like it. It was a wonderful experience for me, and it gave me the opportunity to travel throughout all Asia. And
Mhm.
of course, again, no matter if I was a CEO, I would always go with my surfboard. And I discovered all these beautiful places in Vietnam, in Thailand, in
Mhm.
so many places to go surfing. And again,
Mhm.
close to the ocean. And then I realized, I was in my 30s, I realized that being a CEO carries a lot of responsibilities. And the thing that one day I woke up and all the material possessions that I had didn't I didn't feel them, as at the beginning. you know, because I've never been a material person. Uh,
Mhm.
for me, what is important is my peace, my happiness, my spiritual state. And of course, if you have good things, why not? But I discovered that in order to keep all those things, my life had changed so drastically. And I realized that I wasn't working to live anymore. I was living to work. That
Wow.
the most precious thing that I think we all have, our time,
Yes.
have lost it because all the traveling and all the important meetings in different places didn't give me the time to do the things I love to do. So this lasted like for 6 months, and
Mhm.
I always listen to the voice of my heart because uh, the voice of your heart will never lie to you.
Mhm.
It's what other people call, instinct.
Yes.
And when that voice grows loud, uh, I've learned to always listen to it no matter what. And it would really put me in a very difficult position because uh, for the rest of society, I had everything that everyone wants to have,
Mhm.
but I was really feeling miserable because I didn't have the time to live life and to follow my dreams. So I will never forget. I was in a hotel in Singapore dealing with some Asian entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
and it was the first time in my life that I had a panic attack. I don't know if you had a panic attack. Some of your viewers definitely probably have it. And it's
Mhm.
basically that your body is telling you enough is enough.
Mhm.
You're not living the life that you were meant to live, and all the dreams that you had, you've put them behind in order to keep a status of life that, in my personal case, uh, if that's what you like, it's okay. In my personal case, was not myself.
Mhm. Yes.
So my heart started sweating. I had this. My heart really started to pump. I couldn't think. So what I did is I left the meeting and I went to the business office in this building. And well, I will never forget it. It seems it was yesterday. While I was running through the building, I heard the voice of my heart telling me, Sergio, what are you doing with your life? This is not the life you always dreamt to live. And no, not there's no material possession that will give you the happiness that you're looking for, or the peace of mind, or the spirituality that you've always been searching for. So when I went to this business office, I just talked with the secretary. I asked her for a piece of paper, a pencil, and I quit my job.
Wow.
Uh, Now it's easy to see it, but of course, it's a
Mhm.
very difficult decision.
Mhm.
So after so much hard work, leaving everything behind, uh, and also the peer pressure of many people telling me, "You're going crazy. What are you doing with your life?
Mhm.
You've reached the top of the mountain, and now you're gonna throw everything away." But I couldn't lie to the voice of my heart. I couldn't lie to myself. I'll tell you a couple of anecdotes that in some way I always tell them so you can see the person I am.
Mhm.
When I quit my job, I went down in Singapore to the main lobby because I wanted to be close to the ocean. Um, it was a difficult decision that would change, the course of my life. And I saw two people working in the lobby. There was a lady, there was a man cleaning the floor.
Mhm.
Of course, when you're a CEO of a company, again, all these material toys that you have to use, you know, the Armanis, the super expensive suits and ties. Uh, and I remember it was like, it's like a dream. I remember taking out my suit and my tie and giving it to this guy and said, "This is for you." And he looked at me very strange. He said, "Are you sure? Are you sure, sir? Are you feeling well?" And I said, "I've never felt better in my life." So I gave it to him.
Mhm.
And then the guy in charge of the lobby, also because of being a CEO of a company, you have to use an expensive watch. In my case, it was a Rolex. And I took it off and gave it to him. And
Mhm.
it was funny because at the beginning he thought it was a fake watch. And I said, "No, it's a real thing." And he said, "Are you sure? Are you feeling well?" And I said, "Again, I've never felt better in my life." And I gave it to him. And then I went out of the building. I sat at the side of the ocean and I started to cry. And that was one of the best decisions of my life because I felt that I got out of a cage, of a golden cage
Mhm.
that I never wanted to be in. Again,
Yes.
I'm just talking about myself. For other people, maybe it's their dream, and there's nothing wrong.
Mhm. Yes.
And up to today, senior, I've never used again a watch, a tie, or a suit. And that in some way gave me, I don't know, mentally, uh, the feeling that I was free at last again.
Mhm.
That was the way I wanted to live my life. So,
Wow.
so what to do now? I returned. I gave back my car. I gave all the luxuries, and I had surfed all around the world, but not Europe. And at that time in Europe, surfing was starting to catch up. Beautiful waves in France, in the north of Spain, in Portugal, and I bought a second-hand van, you know, the Volkswagen, the typical Volkswagen
Mhm.
camper.
Sounds
And
great.
yeah, and the only thing that I took with me were my surfboards, my guitar, my dreams,
Mhm.
and a computer that at that time it was a laptop, but it weighed 15 kilograms. I still remember that the letters were green and nothing to do with the laptops we have today.
Mhm.
Basically, the reason I took it was not to write a book. I took it because I was in a very tight budget and I was taking a sabbatical year and I had to make myself sure that the money that I had, which was 10,000 euros, was enough money that would last for the whole year.
Okay.
So basically, my computer was my way of controlling my expenses and
Mhm.
having the time to do things I love. So up I went. I surfed in beautiful northern France, amazing waves, all the green northern coast of Spain. And then I went to Portugal where I was planning to only stay 2 weeks, but I fell in love with Portugal. Such a lovely country with wonderful people. I
Mm.
love the pace, you know,
Yes,
nobody's
it
in a
is.
rush. Uh,
Mhm.
you still have time to smell the roses, and the waves were fantastic. So I stayed there surfing close to the coast of Lisbon. And while I was thinking what I was going to do with my life, didn't know exactly what I was going to do with my life, but I knew exactly what I was not going to do with my life. Uh,
Mhm.
I was surfing one day and a dolphin appeared. I've swim with dolphins, whales, all creatures of the ocean all my life. But it was a very special dolphin, and it was strange because the waters of Portugal are very cold. And to my surprise, every time I would catch a wave, this dolphin would come and, you know, surf the wave with me.
Wow.
And we became friends. I had this experience before, but not so closely.
That is so amazing.
And yeah,
Mm.
it was a time of wonder, senior, because I remember the waves were not too big. At night, it was a full moon. The ocean
Wow.
like a golden surface.
Mm.
So I went surfing at night. I have done it before, and I surfed 3 days and 2 nights. And every time I would go into the ocean to this beach, I would surf with this dolphin. And
Wow.
I cannot explain, the feeling. It's not serendipity. It's you start to see the world so clear and the way it really is. And in my case, I started to see the things that were really important for my life. And uh, I knew that these signs, like Steve Jobs always said, follow the dots,
Mhm.
were some kind of trial to stick to my guns, stick to my dreams, and see what comes next.
Mm.
So, being a wild dolphin after 3 days and 2 nights of surfing with it by myself, with this wonderful full moon and in a place like paradise,
Mhm.
being a wild dolphin, he went away. The third
Mhm.
day, said goodbye,
Mm.
and yeah, we said goodbye basically, and I knew it. And
Wow.
back to my camper van, and the first thing I would do every night was to open my laptop,
Mhm.
which
The big one.
yeah, exactly, and put in the computer all the expenses of the day,
Mm.
so I could really control my budget and be calm that everything was okay financially.
Mhm.
Don't ask me why. That night, I opened my computer and I started words. I had never in my life written anything, but words started to come from my heart directly to my
Mm.
without going through my mind. And for the next 2 weeks, I just wrote and wrote and wrote what my heart was screaming to tell me to put in words and in the computer all these feelings that I had
Mhm.
in the symbolic way of a dolphin. And after writing and writing and writing, I felt that it was like I was a messenger of a message.
Mm. Yes.
And
Yes.
uh, and suddenly one day is my heart said, "That's it." And I closed my computer, and I remember that night there was a huge swell in the coast of Portugal, thunderstorms. It was nature at its best. I love those
Mhm.
when nature shows all its power.
Mhm.
And I felt the wind in my face, caressing my face, the rain, getting soaked with the rain, totally wet. And then I realized that by writing this book, I had finally found the key to finally get rid of the golden cage I had placed myself in, a world that I didn't belong to, and be able to open that door and be again that Sergio of the child I've always been, of 6, 7 years old, that everything was possible in life, that life was so full of miracles and wonderful things to do. And I felt that I had recovered myself, my true
Mhm.
spirit, my purpose in life. So
Mm.
to make a long story short,
Wow.
I went back to Australia after my sabbatical year. Of course, I got a job that didn't pay as well as the job I had before, but it was amazing because it was 30 years ago, and it was like what is now working from home.
Mhm.
That gave me if there was a good waves, I could go surfing, and then I would work on a Saturday and do the work that I had to do during the weekend. So for me,
Mhm.
it was fantastic. The other lesson that I learned is that they tell us that angels have wings. But I've seen so many angels walking around the world,
Mm.
people really
Mhm.
doing a difference, and they are very quiet. And but those are the people that really make the world such a wonderful place. Um, Silently, always teaching you so much wisdom and wonderful stories.
Mhm.
I had two of those friends, and for some reason, without me knowing, they read my manuscript, what I had written in my computer, and they said, "Sergio, this is lovely. Why don't you send it to some publishing houses?" And I said,
Mhm.
"Oh, because I wrote it for myself." And
Mhm.
that's it.
Mhm.
1 week later, I received a call from Random House Australia. I will never forget her name, Margaret, saying
Mhm.
she liked my book and she wanted to publish it. And I said, "What book?" And I said, "Well, I got an envelope with your name, your address, your phone number. That's the reason I'm calling you." And uh, and then I realized that these two friends, these two
Mhm.
had said had sent the
Mhm.
manuscript to publishing houses.
Mhm. Wow.
So okay, wonderful. Why not? Uh, I felt it was the right thing to do, and everything was going wonderful. But life always places tests in front of you. You know,
Yes.
some
Yeah,
things that you have to take in order to learn and be a better person.
definitely.
Normally, when you publish a book, the publisher will give you a final manuscript that you have to sign, and that in some way protects the publisher that you agree with what they are going to publish.
Mhm.
When I read the manuscript, I couldn't believe it. They had changed at least 50% of what I had written. So I called Margaret immediately and I said to her, "Margaret, this is not what I wrote." And I will never forget her answer. "Yes, Sergio, but this is what sells." Of course, Senior, you can imagine I had always um, uh, sold my soul,
Mhm.
things that didn't belong to my life once. And I promised to myself never to do it again. So I said,
Yes.
Margaret, I said, "Look, either you publish it the way I wrote it, or the deal is off." And again, I heard all the thing that I had also heard when I quit my job. "So you don't know anything about the publishing world. We're the expert. We know what is better for you. If you don't sign with us, one day you will regret it. You will have
Mm.
a career." And I said to her, "Margaret, I cannot go against the voice of my heart. And this is the book I wrote. And if someday I regret my decision, I have a big advantage. I have no one to blame because now I own my life.
Yeah.
I can take the decisions I want. And if it doesn't go right, well, the only one I can blame is myself, learn the lesson, and keep walking." So in the end, no, the contract was gone. These two friends said, "Sergio, would you let us publish the book, The Dolphin, The Dreaming Dolphin? Would you let us publish the book, self-publish the book?" And I said to them, "Yes, of course, as long as you publish it the way I wrote it." And they did it.
Oh.
To our
Mhm.
surprise, this was in Australia. The first year we sold more than 100,000 copies. So there was this message that afterwards I understood that I never realized that there were so many people in the world also questioning their lives,
Mhm.
and saying, should I follow what others say I have to do, or do I follow the voice of my heart? And just to wrap the story, it was like then like a snowball because the book had for some reason went to the Frankfurt Book Messe, the biggest in the
Mhm.
world, and
Yes.
we're getting contracts from everywhere. This was 30 years ago. Now I've written 26 books and
Mm.
I found,
26. Wow.
I found the true purpose of my life and I'm living the dream.
Mm. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing your story and all these special moments that you experienced in your life. And I'm, yeah, I'm really impressed how to hear how much you followed your heart, that you said, no, it's not my book. We're not gonna publish that. I want to have my book and to stay with your voice, to stay with your heart.
Yes,
Yeah.
and just to finish, the other thing that I didn't realize, because I've always been a giver in my life. I love to give. I think giving
Mhm.
without asking anything in return is the most beautiful miracle in the world, because I receive much more than what I give
Yes.
in the end. And to see all these emails from people all over the world, changing their lives, following their dream,
Mhm.
and then telling me, Sergio, I made it. Now I know exactly what I want of my life. Uh, it was the best present I could get, you know, because I always say that who saves one life indeed saves a whole universe. And 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 seeing so many people, break the crystal wall of and go for it, no matter the consequences. And afterwards, meeting them and saying to me, "You gave me the last push to live the life I always wanted to live." That for
Wow.
me is the most amazing gift I've been given in this life, and definitely the proof that I truly found the true purpose of my life, to give
Mhm.
without asking anything in return, and hopefully with my little grain of sand, making a better world for so many people.
So, how would you, um, what would you say is your purpose when you just say it in one sentence or two?
My purpose, I think there's nothing more important in this world than love,
Mhm.
sharing love,
Mhm.
being totally true to yourself, living the life you were supposed to live without listening to the others. Of course, you always listen to people who love you, but the decision has to be yours. Because as I said before, if things don't go well, you have no one to blame. And again, it's if you we all make mistakes, and the important thing is to learn from our mistakes, uh, and keep moving. You know, right now, this world that I never thought about has opened so many doors for me in the sense of helping the environment. I am part of Dolphin Aid and other organizations to save the oceans, to take care of them. And, uh, and the other important thing for me, Senia, is I've taken so many words from my vocabulary, things like hate, envy, vengeance, fame, being famous. For me, that means nothing. When people say, you've sold a lot of books, well, if I could do it, if I can do it, you can do it too. It's just a matter to be true to yourself in whatever you do in life. So uh, I guess that uh, it's given me a sense of serendipity. I am not a religious person, but a very spiritual person, and sharing the magic I found with so many people around the world. Um, yeah, I know why I'm here, and I'll keep doing it until it's time to go.
Mm. What are your dreams that you want to fulfill or to follow right now?
Right now, one of the things I see, Senia, and I don't know if people agree with me, is the world is going through a very difficult time. Uh, technology, artificial intelligence, a new generation with different ideas. Uh, but at the same time, wars happening. We hear all this news about wars and so many problems that we still haven't fixed. The global warming. I go to the ocean every day and I can see it. I can see the change. I can see how we're destroying Mother Nature, Mother Earth. And for me, that is, I mean, we have to realize that if we keep the way we go, getting more and more material possessions, Mother Earth doesn't, we cannot take more than she can give.
Yeah.
And I hope we don't get to a position or a moment in which we will realize that we cannot drink petrol or
Mm.
we cannot eat money. So that's a very drastic way of saying it. But answering your question, I am in this new search with different organizations and getting along with people in order to protect the oceans and making a voice called the power of one multiplied by the power of millions.
Mhm.
All these people that are doing amazing little things to heal our Mother Earth and trying to get them together. Uh, um, Launching a book next year, and it's again Daniel Dolphin again, but his mission this time is totally different. It's not to serve the perfect weight and find the true purpose of his life, but in a way is to save Mother Nature uh, and make humans understand that we were meant to live in peace. We were meant. I mean, we cannot be killing each other all the time. We have to be kind. We have to forget. We have to recover our humanity, our empathy, and start to think more about the others and not being selfish of thinking only about ourselves.
Mm.
And I truly believe that there's so many people around the world thinking exactly the same. Uh, so much stress right now, so much anxiety of what will happen with the future, that we have to get together and say, hey, let's stop, revive, survive, go back to the basics, and try to realize what are the real and true important things in life. Because,
Yes.
and most of the important things in life are things that you cannot see with your eyes, love, family, kindness, humanity, friends. Enjoy your time, be happy, spread the word. Um, let's make this world a wonderful world because before it's
Mhm.
too late. Uh,
Yes.
and yes, that's what I'm
Mhm.
doing right now, and probably that's what we'll do for the I don't know for the next years because it has to be done now.
Mm.
Getting so many people around the world that think the same way. You know, first forgive, kindness, always respect others, but most important than everything, unconditional love, and
Mm.
and recover our humanity and our empathy towards others, and of course, all the nature that surrounds us.
Yeah, we're all part of bigger,
Exactly,
the bigger
exactly.
picture. Yeah.
We're part of nature. We don't own.
Hmm. No. Yeah, that's true. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for going for that. And I'm excited about your new book,
Thing.
which comes next year. And I think if we all live our purpose, if we know what we are here for, if we go for that and really fulfill um, with our potential we have this world, we make this world a better place. And with every person who really follows his purpose or her purpose, I think this world gets a better world because we are more connected to ourselves and we are more connected to the divine, to the nature, to the bigger picture, to this wholeness we're living in.
I totally agree with you, and I thank you. And as I said, the logo is the power of one multiplied by the power of millions.
Mm,
And I hope, Senia, that you can help us in this with your wonderful podcast to help spread the world once we start talking about different issues and
mm,
how to make a difference.
Yeah, that's all about. Mm,
And you can play. I mean, podcasts are so important right now, and that's a wonderful way of transmitting all this love and all these feelings.
mm,
Wonderful, your wonderful programs to people all over the world.
yeah,
But they think the same way.
yes, thank you.
No,
What
thank
would
you.
what would you recommend, Sergio, to people who do not know how can I listen to my heart? How can I feel my purpose? How can I more reconnect to myself to take my place here on earth? What would you say to these people?
In my case, Senia, and that's personal, but I think it can count for many people. I go to a quiet place, a place you love. It can be the mountains, it can be nature, it could be the woods, it could be the ocean, and get away a little from society.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, just close your eyes, uh, be totally sincere with yourself, and listen to that inner voice, and never forget the child you were. Start to remember that kid that you were when you were so young, full of dreams, full of that nothing was impossible. That's your best teacher. I always say I'm an adult, but I always take my inner child in my pocket, and he's always there for me. And when I'm about to do something wrong, I can feel him, pulling the pocket, and yes, be yourself. Don't be afraid.
Mm,
Lose fear of fear itself. Because what is the worst that can happen? And the answer is nothing. You can
mm,
always go back to your normal life.
mm,
But if you really want to discover the true purpose of your life and who you are, if you haven't done it yet, is you have to be in complete science, at least that's what I did, in complete science with nature, get inside of yourself, and the voice will start to come little by little. You
mm,
remember the wonder years of your childhood. Um, and again, no pressure, nothing that compromise your thoughts or your feelings or what your heart is telling you. And you will find out it's the best teacher you can have in your life.
Thank you.
Follow it. Why not?
Mhm. What would you say? Because you talked about that earlier, that people could not understand what you're doing, that you're quitting your job and changing your life. A lot of people, I think, me included, have this fear inside. What are other people's thinking about that? Other people's are judging. So maybe I'm not um, part of the group anymore. So maybe I'm alone at the end
Mm.
or other fears.
No, I understand you totally. And again, as I said, it wasn't easy.
Mm,
Because put it this way, if I hadn't written the Dreaming Dolphin, I would still had a nice job uh, that covered all my expenses.
mm,
I always say, if I have a normal car that takes me from A to B, why do I need a more expensive car? And then when I have the more expensive car, why do I need a more expensive car? Because of of the pressure of society unless you really are in love with cars. If that's your passion, there's nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But but in the end, the only person you have to be totally sincere is with yourself, because you only live once. This is not a trial. I mean, this is it. This is the
Mm-hmm.
real thing. And I guess the best way to live your life is being totally consequent with yourself. Of course, respecting everyone if they don't think the way you think. And again, as I wrote in The Dreaming Dolphin, don't let your fears stand in the way of your dreams. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we all have these fears, but trust me, once you cross that crystal wall, everything looks much clearer. Everything is the way it should be. So it's just taking the first step in the right direction. And again, forget about your fears. Because as I said, what is the worst that can happen? For me, a person who follows his dreams is already a winner. But if he's not able to reach his dreams, maybe because it's not the right time, the timing is given by the universe, not by myself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you can always go back, to what you were doing and maybe try later, and nothing wrong happens.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong happens. So it's a created fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's a created fear. I can see it every day when I go into the ocean and the waves are huge. Yes, of course, you feel a little fear. But once you cross the first wave and you see that nothing happens, uh, you start to see the world as it really is and not the way they taught you it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the dolphin does.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so many things that I was taught when I was a kid, and I don't blame anyone because the times were different. But now I'm discovering that they were not right, at least for myself. And I thank, for all the teachings, but it's up to me to decide what to do with my life now that I have tools, and be happy, have a fulfilling life. Uh, Never forget that we all have problems. It's part of life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that my life is I'm dancing in the rain every day. I mean, we all have problems. It's normal. And but being true to yourself give you the tools to really be able to step on when the difficult times come, when, as I say, when the storm comes, and always realize that the storm will never last forever. Sooner or
Mm-hmm.
later, the sun will come out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hang tight, you will have learned a new lesson, which will make you a better person.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And every storm we master and we go through, we develop ourselves and we get stronger. And I think with every step we do in the direction of our dreams, we can collect more trust that everything is always working out. So even if the result is different from what we wished it would be at the first time, but it will change and it will go its way. And if we look back, we will see, oh, yes, it should be exactly like it was. So there were all the magical moments
Exactly.
within.
You said it before better than me,
Mm.
and I think exactly the same way you said, but you said
Mm.
it clear. So thank you.
Thank you. I so much, yeah, feel all your words and everything you, yeah, told us deep within my heart. And yeah, I do have um two little more questions. A friend of mine asked me to ask you, so she was very interested in how you write your books. So the first question is how um, or where do you get your inspiration from for your books?
Okay. To make it short, because I never studied literature or anything. All my books are based on true stories
Mm-hmm.
that I've done in my life. For example, Distant Winds, my story of sailing around the South Pacific for 6 months. It's based on a true story. I really
Mm-hmm.
sailed the South Pacific for 6 months, but
Wow.
I just put a little fiction and all these angels that I said that I when I travel I find them all around the world are the main characters. You know, another book, Beach of Dreams, which was my second book, is a true story of a broker, a person, a really wealthy person that left everything
Wow.
and went to to this little house in front of the ocean. And once you got into his house, the only thing you could see were books.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, he found his true purpose in the life. So to answer the question, it's a little fiction based in true stories or journeys or adventures that I have had in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for sharing. And I also love that book, From the Beach of the Dreams. I enjoyed that also very much.
The
Mm.
lighthouse is again a true story.
Mhm.
True
Mhm.
story based in Chile, and I met this admiral in the hospital,
Yeah.
and then I put a little fiction, but the main message and the characters are real, and you
Mm.
start to discover all these amazing people all around the world
Mm.
that have so much to teach you.
Mm.
I write books. I try to make that their voices are heard.
Mm. For me, it feels like it is very touching, the heart, because it is because these are true stories. So this is what makes it so real, so touchable, so you can feel it so much.
Thank you.
Mm,
They are true stories. I've
mm,
done so many crazy things in my life. Well, what people call crazy things, but for me, I don't know. It was normal. Once you cross the crystal walls, I mean,
mm,
if your heart, if you follow your heart, just go for it.
mm. And where do you write your books? Do you write them beside the ocean or in the special places?
Yes, I normally find in the quietness of really late nights uh,
Mm-hmm.
with myself, you know, in
Mm-hmm.
cities and everything is calm. Uh, um, I can be in touch much more easy with myself and hear the voice of my heart and just go from there. But also, the ocean is my inspiration. And when I'm writing my books, I always go to the ocean to read them. Uh, and the crashing surf, I go diving or I go surfing, and that puts me in a state that of total serendipity and gives me the tools and the wisdom to be sure that I like what I write,
Mm-hmm.
and always in a very humble way, and and taking this role of being a messenger and trying to spread the word to make a better world. And as you said, close to the ocean and at night, where, when everything is quiet.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing. Mm.
Oh, thank you, Xenia, for everything. I mean, we're all messengers, you with your podcast too. So,
Mm.
I mean, let's do it.
Yeah, maybe someday there will be a message within a book. We will see. Yeah. Thank you so much, Sergio. I'm so inspired, and it's not only your words or the stories you told, but the energy that comes with your words, that you experience and that you deliver. So there's so much trust I can feel now. There's so a deep connection to the animals, to the nature, to the places we have around us, to the ocean, the sea, and yeah, this connection to myself. Yeah, thank you so much.
No, thank you, Senia, for the opportunity. And again, as I said, it's been wonderful to be in your podcast. I feel we're friends. I don't know you personally, but you know, we're
It
kindred,
is the same for me.
kindred spirits because, yeah, there's this connection. And
Mm.
as the time passes, let's hope to keep in touch and make a better world. Everyone from its place and getting together and wishing the best of the best for everyone. Because if we don't do it, I think dark clouds are in the horizon.
So let the light shine and be brighter than the clouds can be.
Beautiful.
Mm.
See,
Mm.
you have a book inside of you.
Thank you. I will send it to you whenever it's ready.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you so much. And I'm
Now,
looking forward to have the next conversation to you in the beginning of next year and to talk to you again and to, yeah, dive deeper within all these beautiful issues like following our heart, following our dreams, and healing the world.
and healing ourselves. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Senia, once again for the opportunity. And I've made a friend. And definitely the power of one multiplied by the power of millions. We will do it. And again, thank you for the wonderful opportunity and thank to your listeners.
Thank you, Sergio.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Okay? Namaste.
Das war das Interview, das Gespräch mit Sergio. Wir haben uns, wie du es wahrscheinlich gemerkt hast, sehr schnell, sehr gut verstanden und ja, haben viele Themen, die uns auch verbinden, unseren Träumen zu folgen. Ja, das Licht in die Welt zu bringen mit dem, was wir tun, aufzuleuchten bei dem, was wir tun und der Stimme unseres Herzens zu folgen. Und du bist hier in Lightful Magic und ich weiß, dass das auch genau das ist, was dich anspricht und dass du auch weißt, dass du ja nicht ohne Grund hier bist, sondern dass du genau hier bist, weil du hier sein sollst. Und was mich mit am meisten ja jetzt beschäftigt noch nach dem Podcast ist, dass wir dieses eine Leben haben, um es zu leben. Dass es nicht einfach ein Versuch ist und dann fangen wir an zu leben, sondern nein, es ist jetzt, es passiert jetzt dieses Leben und es warten einfach magische Momente, es warten Wunder auf uns, wenn wir wirklich unserem Herzen folgen, wenn wir unsere Stimme nachgehen, die aus dem Inneren kommt und wenn wir lauschen, was ja, was für Botschaften da auf uns warten und wenn wir diese Botschaften weitergeben, wenn wir diesen Botschaften folgen, wenn wir unseren Träumen folgen. Und ich bin ganz gespannt, was du für dich mitgenommen hast aus dieser Folge. Teile das so gerne mit mir auf Instagram @xenia.engelberger. Ich freue mich wie immer, von dir zu lesen, von dir zu hören und bin auch ganz gespannt, was dich am meisten berührt hat, was du dir mitnimmst, was du dir vielleicht auch merken möchtest, woran du dich vielleicht erinnern möchtest, was dich inspiriert hat und welche Träume in dir schlummern. Ich freue mich darauf, von dir zu lesen und schicke dir jetzt eine Herzensumarmung. Let's shine together von Herzen. Deine Xenia.